This is the URT. You are the URT. Smash a like for the URT. Big up, people. We've had some technical difficulties. Forgive us. Forgive us. We're still trying to sort it out. Big up, Ben. Welcome to the URT, people. Lots of speculations. Transfer frenzy. We're here, people. Finally, we're here. But big up. Ben, how you doing?
All good, bro. All blessed, bro. How are you, bro? Pick up the chat, man.
Yeah, I'm
Good to
good.
be
I'm
here,
good.
man. Smash the
Good.
likes, people are early, bro. Let's just try and get to 100 likes. ASAP, man. Big up to the OGs straight away in the chat. King Soul. Obviously we've seen Said in the chat. Big up to Said and Twambuala, if that's how you pronounce it, bro. But big up to yourself, man. Smash the likes, people, and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, man. Yeah, bro. Obviously Nerdin is he's on his way home, so he is. So obviously we'll try and
Yo, we're here, man. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're just setting up now, people. So yeah, big up. Listen, Ben. So the club has basically been telling us that Elliot Anderson was their target from about 7 or 8 months, and then they come out and go, "We're not really looking to buy a big player. We are more like buying a different combination of players. We're not really trying to get somebody at a almost like a number one top midfield player. We're now thinking about something else. We're thinking about maybe we need to buy bulk." I mean, we'll read the quote. I mean, I'm butchering it, but what do you say to that? They've been briefing journalists since last season that there was the targets were going to be was going to be midfielders, and Elliot Anderson is on top of that. And now they get Ederson, and Ederson is the Casemiro replacement, bro. And every United fan is telling me, no, he's the third midfielder. He's more of a squad player. Is he? He's here to play. Talk to me, Ben.
Yeah, bro. I mean, everyone in the chat, if you haven't already, David Ornstein has came out and said that. Hang on, I'll just get the quote here. People, give me 2 seconds. So, David Ornstein has just tweeted there 30 minutes ago. Exclusive. Manchester City submit opening offer to Nottingham Forest for Elliot Anderson. Manchester City bid rejected by Nottingham Forest, but pursuit ongoing. Club bosses spoke at UEFA dinner last week. No suggestion it was to negotiate the deal. That is what has come in. And first things first, people. I want to welcome Ederson to Man United. I wish every player, no matter if I wanted the player or if I was interested in the player, I wish every player nothing but success, man. I hope and pray that he does well, and I wish him every bit of success. Like I said, he looks very promising with his big up the Jarvis, man. Was his sexy haircut coming in, bro?
guys, you have to excuse. I was on my way to bed because I thought Noradin was going live tomorrow night.
That's what I thought as well.
Suddenly, that's why I was going to get some sleep. So yeah, if you do, I thought maybe you need some help, Ben. So I just joined in.
You're all good, bro. Big up to yourself.
I didn't mean to take over, but.
Big up to yourself. Big up the chat, man, as always.
Thanks,
but yeah,
thanks.
No, but like I said, chat. Obviously we welcome Ederson into the club. We wish him nothing but success for the club. Hopefully he's a good signing, and we just got to back him, man. We got to do our job as fans and back every player, no matter if we rate the player or not. We just got to back him. The biggest question, as Nurden just said, obviously on the start of the stream, there he is. Big up to the main man. Fans have been saying this signing for Ederson it's going to be our third midfielder, and that's the question that's up in the air right now. That's £1 million question. Is Michael Carrick going to be starting with Ederson? Like, is Ederson going to be a starter Man United? Because we don't know. And this is why I always said, I told Luani, I told all the chat, I told Jarvis and yourself, Nerd, you have to. It's so important who you sign first. For example, if you signed an Elliot Anderson or a Tchouaméni or Tonali, you know them players are going to be instant starters for Man United. With Ederson, it's a 50-50. It's a 50-50 answer. We don't know if Carrick's going to be starting him because obviously Carrick wants his midfield players to be very good at intensity, aggression, and that's what Ederson brings. Obviously Ederson is looking promising, but obviously with since he came from the Serie A, but honestly, bro, I don't know what Carrick's going to do next season. I'm kind of a wee bit gutted that Elliot Anderson has now been heavily linked now to Manchester City, and it looks like, sadly, that Elliot Anderson is going to be going there. But the one thing I love to ask the club, Man United, why was there so much PR going into Elliot Anderson when you know and you just told us that you're not interested in purchasing big name signings? It just doesn't make any sense to me. 9 months wasted, and people are going to say maybe Elliot Anderson is not the profile we need, but I'm sorry. He's literally a marquee signing, just like Tchouaméni, just like Tonali. These players here, we need to be assigning at least one of them players as our marquee signing. Ederson's just along the door, he's alongside them, but we just need to make other clubs worried. We need to bring that back. And like I said, if we had signed Tchouaméni, Tonali, Anderson, it just would have made Man City worried, Liverpool worried, and they'll start to panic because Man United are making big moves. Look, I'm glad Ederson's through the door. It means that we can focus on other players, and the fact that Tonali, Lewis Hall, and other players who have been linked to, like Wharton and all them players, they're not going to the World Cup. So at least Fernandes as well, he's not going to the World Cup. So it just gives Ineos more time to actually work and proceed on the deals. But let's see what they do, man. I still have no hope in them and no belief. But welcome Ederson once again, man. I wish him nothing but success, man. And honestly, I wish him all the best, bro, because we just got it back no matter who comes through the door, whether we like him or not. We just got to give him the love he deserves, man. And I'm really gonna do with Elliot Anderson. I'm sure you are nerd, and I suppose you've seen David Ornstein and Jarvis. You've seen the David Ornstein tweet regarding Elliot Anderson, but yeah, big up to the both of you, bro. Apologies, nerd, I couldn't come on any sooner, man. But but like Jarvis, whenever Jarvis came on, we side put it in the chat. It said that the stream was going live 24 hours later tomorrow, so we were all very confused. But yeah, big up to you boys, and big up to the chat, man, as always, man. And smash the like.
Big up and appreciate you, man. Big up,
always, man.
Love. Listen, Manchester United have been telling their fans Elliot Anderson was their #1 target, so they've lied to the fans, and the fans then took it on themselves and said, "Oh, don't worry about Ederson. Listen, Ederson could be a fantastic player. Nobody knows yet, but Manchester United fans are convincing themselves that he's a squad player. He's the Casemiro replacement. Do not get it twisted. He's the Casemiro." Everything what's been done, he's the Casemiro. But we want to welcome him like we always do. We welcome every player as a fans of the club. I don't support the Glazers or Ineos, but I support the football club, the historic Manchester United. That's who I fell in love with. So I want to welcome Ederson to Manchester United. And there will be a video, probably do a video or a live tomorrow night, where we will go into depth about him and go down even all the stats again, and go through where his strengths and the weaknesses are. But yeah, in terms of the other bids, obviously we're linked with Mateus Fernandes. Apparently, West Ham almost want 80 million for him. They need to get off the pipe. We're linked with Lewis Hall. I think that's going to be a really difficult deal to do, but I would love to know what you guys think. Big up Jarvis. Appreciate you coming out of bed. Appreciate you, Ben. Please smash the like on the video and subscribe to the channel, people.
Big up, man. Jarvis, you would like to comment regarding the Elliot Anderson news?
Well, it's huge news. It's from super incredible sources. It's Laurie Whitwell and Ornstein himself working on this Elliot Anderson thing together. And, we know now for certain that Manchester City have gone in with their first bid for the player. And we know that the bid has been rejected. The report also comes from Laurie Whitwell saying that Nottingham Forest all want at least the same price as Arsenal paid for Declan Rice from West Ham. That was 105 million pounds. So the bidding starts on a 105 million. That's what's expected from Nottingham Forest. So also, I think this set the precedence for the rest of the summer transfer window. We got to realize when we are going in for players like Tonali, for example, if this is the current rate, they are in the full right to say we want at least 95 million for example, Tonali. So it makes everything more difficult for us. I was hoping that they will wait until after the World Cup with going in with bids, and then we will have real valuations like the 105 million, because now everything gets a lot more difficult, because when we read reports now, we see Manchester United are talking about resources, and that's basically money. How much money do you have in the bank to go in, and how much money are you willing to pay for a player? So again, 105 million, it sounds a lot, but it was what we have expected. There have been reports out 125 million pounds for Elliot Anderson, but again, that's just loose reports. Now we have the hard facts from Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell. So again, I think it's very interesting. But yet again, Forest have rejected. They have time on their hands. The World Cup, they don't have to sell anywhere close to now. So selling now would just be a stupid decision financially from their side. And also we gotta see what's going on with other clubs like Manchester City, because there were a report coming out from the guy who is competing with Perez for the Real Madrid presidency. He came out and said if he gets the job, if he gets elected as the president, he will get Rodri to Real Madrid. And we know for certain if Rodri leaves, Manchester City will get desperate. They need to fill that hole after Rodri. So again, I think if that happens, we have to pay a little bit attention to the presidential election at Real Madrid. So again, it's so many things now, but the dominoes have started to fall, and we can see now what's going to happen in this window in a way. So yeah, big up Nordin.
Nordin, what about you? What's your thoughts on the
Basically, we saw the last 48 hours how the briefing has changed. Manchester United, by using a lot of the cronies within, whether it's the Athletic, whether it's Ben Jacobs, they've been using those to basically brief that Elliot Anderson for month and month was their number one target. And then once they realize the type of money that they have to try to pay, and I said that's what it will cost. I said it will cost over 100 million, around 100 million. That's how much it would cost, because he's that next guy, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Rice. He's that type of player. He's that generational talent, in my humble opinion. So they briefed that, and then when they realized the fact, when reality hit them right on the head, they were like, oh, okay, we're in for Alex Scott as well. We're in for Mateus and Alex Scott. Let's quickly sign Ederson, and then we'll go. We are now. So I'm like, what tier are we in then? What tier are we in now? What tier? We're in tier 2. Are we in tier 3? You know what I mean? It's still tier 1. Are we still linked with Tonali or Tchouaméni? Have we forgot about those two as well? So the top tier was supposed to be Tchouaméni, Tonali, Anderson, right? That was supposed to be top 1. Top 2, yeah. Top tier 2 was supposed to be like Belaba, Ederson, maybe
Wharton,
Belaba, Wharton, what's his name?
Alex Scott,
Fernandez.
Alex Scott, Fernandez, and then tier 3 was somebody like Ederson. That's what
Hackney, Ederson, Hackney,
Shay Charles.
Hackney, you know what I mean? Yeah, Shay Charles. That's what that was.
Yeah.
So now
I will also say Joe Gomez is in that bracket.
Gomez.
We have been linked to him a couple of times. Yeah.
So that's gone now. That is completely gone now. That is
Yeah,
gone.
but I just want to add, Nuruddin, because you said the dominoes are starting to fall, and this report also came back. I think maybe now Man United are backtracking, because this report came out from Ben Jacobs tonight and saying Manchester United aren't thinking of marquee signings. They want collective chemistry and buying at high volume. So again, this report tells you Man United are going for maybe 3 midfielders, but maybe we are just skipping the 100 million type of midfielder signing and go for quantity rather than quality. So, I find it interesting now how the latest development is going on. So I don't know if you saw this, because we have all been, been told that we are going for a tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1. But, now with this from Ben Jacobs, if it's true, we could actually just see us maybe signing Mateus Fernandes, Alex Scott, and Ederson. That's the 3 guys, and that's basically it.
Yeah, it's mind blowing to me, bro. Like, even like most of our signings these days, like we've actually, the thing is, when we pay for a player, say for example, if we were to pay for Tonali, we don't actually give Newcastle 80 million just like that. We pay in installments, and that's why I don't understand what approach Man United's taking right now. Like, for example, if you were to get Tonali or Tchouameni right now for 75 to 80 million, we'd be giving Newcastle 10 or 15 million for the first year. It's crazy.
But Ben, oh, you're on mute, Nuruddin.
It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So you need to put that into the chat, Jarvis, because I need that quote. I need that Ben Jacobs. I'm looking for it right now. Ben Jacobs.
It's this one. He said it on I think with Beth on United Stand, that Manchester United aren't thinking of marquee signings. They want collective chemistry and buying at high volume.
So, do you guys know that and remember, what does that mean? So, if Manchester United are doing a proper rebuild, right? I want to take this apart. Manchester United are thinking of marquee signings. So why were you briefing for months that Elliot Anderson was your number 1 target?
Yeah.
What are you doing? So yet again, just like the Glazers, it looks like confused. Other than the best in class, it's the best in nonsense what they've been breathing. And now, so you can get high volume of players, but if the quality's not there, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen? We've seen football clubs sign multiple players. Chelsea, look at Chelsea. Chelsea have signed how many players in terms of volume? Does that mean that you're going to get a well-gelled, well-oiled machine? You're going to get a team chemistry just because you've signed loads of different players? Instead of wasting money on different types of players, you get top quality, because at the end of the day, it's top quality that will define you as a football club. It's always been. Quality always rises to the top. Quality players always have a significant difference in the team and the way you want to play, especially in midfield. You can't just go and buy 10 or 7 or like 4 or 5 midfielders and think, okay, well, you know what? Bring them in and inshallah, we hope and pray. Is that what we're doing now with the signings? We're doing hope and pray. They said that they're going to do specific targets. They've been saying that for a long time. They're going to do specific type of targets, and that's what they're doing, right? Specific type of targets.
Yeah, but also they're mentioning about the collective chemistry, Nuruddin, and I think that counts for a lot. If you're going to trust anywhere of any one of these guys, coming in and making the decisions of the transfers, I think it's a good thing that we are not signing the Galacticos, although we are not, but just the big name signings. Because for me, I'm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. For me, I'm not that concerned about stuff like this. I also want the right chemistry. Stu and I have been, we have been breaking this down a lot on Data MB. Seeing the full circle. What will a midfielder bring collectively if he play with Mainu? If he plays with Bruno, can he do the hard work? Can he graft? Can he play forward passes? Can he be he technical on the ball? Can he progress the ball? Because for me, I think we need to look at the chemistry, and I think that's the most that's the reasonable approach in all of this. But I think we as fans get a little bit carried away sometimes because we wish we would really like Elliot Anderson, for example, or Tonali, but you know, at the end of the day, they are just footballers as anyone else, and you know, this is the Premier League, and you know, I'm not even sure that Alex Scott, how poor is he actually if you compare him to Tonali, or same goes for Mateus Fernandes. They are smaller names, they are cheaper in price, but again, you know, it's a different way of looking at it, at least. And we know also this guy Sansoni, the data analytics guy, has been very involved in all of this, you know. So we are going by data for once, you know. We are going by data and not letting fans decide who we are going to sign. So it could be a positive in all of this, but time will show.
Can you guys hear me okay? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, apologies, guys. I've just had a bloody a Wi-Fi cut there. No, 100% I agree with you though, Jarvis. Like, I think questions need to be answered with regarding our approach into this window, man, because, you know, see, years ago, bro, like, we always looked for marquee signings, like at least one. Now, obviously, any of us have changed now. People have been saying, like, you know, Mbeumo, like Cunha, they're not marquee signings, but realistically, forget about like Champions League level, but Cunha and Mbeumo are marquee signings because they were top goal scorers over these over the previous seasons. And look, it just frustrates me because if you go and buy Tchouaméni or Tonali and say you give Newcastle 15 million for 1 year and pay in 5 installments, it just means that it just makes life so much easier for, like, you know, for any of us in terms of saving money and stuff, instead of just splashing 80 million at Newcastle. Like, you know, we have been paying every single, like, every signing we've signed under Ineos, we've been paying in installments, and I just don't understand why we're worried about, you know, not we're taking the right for Ederson. Like, you know, for example, we're paying 34.5 million quid for Ederson, but we're only paying 5 or 10 million for Atalanta right now because we pay that in installments. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, I don't really understand. Like, you know, in my opinion, I would go for one marquee signing and then go for, you know, your Alex Scott, your Fernandez, your Baleba, your Wharton, or whoever it is as your second signing, and then obviously you've got Ederson. Like, but I mean, someone just said there was Stretford Elite. Big up to you, bro. He just says a midfield three of Mateus Fernandes, Kobe Minu, and Alex Scott would be a really good midfield because it's just balance. I just think the reason why I feel like Ineos have sort of dipped away from Elliot Anderson is because they're looking in terms of how would Elliot Anderson play well with Mainu and Bruno, because we have to keep it a buck as well. You know, Bruno is going to be staying here for 3 or 4 more years, in my opinion, because he's the man. And, you know, it's just
yeah, he dropped out again. Oh, you're on mute, Noradin.
Yeah, I think he's having some connection issues.
Yeah.
Freddie, tell us more. What do you mean by this? Tell us more, Freddie. What do you mean by this? Pan, what does pan away mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us more context, please. Go ahead, Jarvis.
No, I was just going to add. I saw people talking about Alex Scott in the chat, and there have been some updates on Alex Scott, and it actually feels now that we are turning away from Mateus Fernandes and looking at Alex Scott, and the reports that came out yesterday regarding Alex Scott, and also today that Man United are in talks, you know, and there are strong links when it comes to Alex Scott. I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but you know, his stepsister plays. She's the team captain for the Man United women's team, and Man United
who are struggling, by the way, and they all hate.
Yeah, they are, but you know, there are close connections with Wilcox and Alex Scott's family. So again, you know, there have been talks saying that maybe he's maybe he he's been in talk with Wilcox, but I don't know that yet. But there is a link between Alex Scott and Manchester United. So again, I think that could be interesting. So again, it's just about the price. But as long as Bournemouth qualified for next year's Europa League, I can't see them sell. But again, Bournemouth is a well-run club. They recently lost their sporting director, as far as I understand, well, no, that was Brighton. Sorry, I always mix those two up. That was yesterday's news about the Brighton sporting director. That's also an interesting thing. But Bournemouth is a selling club, so they sold Sabarni, they sold Huijsen, they sold Kirkis, they sold Nørgaard, all of their players, and even did better the season after. So they even lost their manager. So again, I'm mixing all the Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton. But again, yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, there's also news as well there. It was floating around that apparently Man United are not in for a centre back this window as well, which is even more concerning, man, because they're probably thinking that De Ligt's injury it's not going to be, he's not going to get injured again like next season. Like the big thing as well, the worst injury that any footballer can have is a back injury, and obviously De Ligt, as good as he has been, I worry about his injury record, and we can't forget about Martinez as well. I don't know what we're doing, man. Like I think we need to be in for a centre back this summer. On top of a left back, obviously the three midfielders, and also a left wing man. And I think people are even saying as well they're happy with right back. I know Nerd, I've seen you in other shows, and I've been saying to you, right back's not really an issue right now because they said, oh, I can live with Dalot for another season, bro, which is mind blowing, bro. But I don't know, bro. Like I just don't know what route we're taking down with when it comes to the midfielders. Like I'd rather us spend two or three marquee signings in midfield than any other position around the pitch, because the midfield is the most important position in the football pitch. Then you're then looking at your two centre backs, and then you're looking at your goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, we're happy. We're so happy. Defense, you've got Aiden Heaven, who's been really, really good. He's been the bright spark in our defense. Lenny Euro still adapting. De Ligt's still got that back injury. Martinez, he's still up and down. Then you got Maguire. I'm not really completely comfortable with our defense at the moment. And in the midfield, you've obviously it's a catastrophe right now. There's only May, New Year's, Bruno. It's a complete mess, man. And that's how Arsenal won the Premier League. People, it's not because of their attack. People keep forgetting this. It's not because of Gyökeres. It's because Rice, Zubimendi, Saliba, Gabriel, and Raya, like the spine of the football pitch. And that's how they won the Premier League. So I don't know, man. I'm really, really worried, man, this season. I really, really am with this transfer window. But I'm glad Ederson's through the door. It just means that Ineos have more time to negotiate with the likes of Tonali, Lewis Hall, Fernandez, Wharton, all these players who aren't going to the World Cup now. And look, listen, it'll be very interesting to see if Newcastle will allow us to go in for Tonali and Lewis Hall. I don't think they would sell two players because Newcastle are still a big club these days. So it'll be very interesting to see what path we go down with. But yeah, that's just my 2 pence. What do you think, though, Nerden? Do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Listen, it's going to be very interesting. Big up user. User says a sale expected to attract interest. So apparently Glazers, according to him, it could be that he's trolling us, or it could be true. Breaking. Manchester Glazers are finally considering the stake in Manchester United more than 20 years. I think we might be getting trolled, but it's all good. Oh, something you're talking about. A sale expected interest from the Middle East investors, wealthy US buyers, thought club would command a significant price. The business, okay, I don't know where that is, but big up to you, user. I appreciate you. Let me just go back to Freddie's. It's everywhere on my Insta and Twitter, but every time an Asian player is about to receive a medal or a trophy, they switch the picture that they have done it. Endo, Kang, Kusanov, Kameda. Oh, damn. Oh yeah, it's crazy because so they mixed them up. You mean they switched up? You mean yeah, bro? Listen, some newspapers printed Stormzy as Lukaku. That's happened before. That has absolutely happened before, people. So honestly, so don't worry about it, man. It's just the way it is, bro. It's the way it is, isn't it? It's like people don't do the research enough. But I just wanted to come back quickly. So I'm a believer that if you're gonna sign 3 midfielders, you need to sign a marquee signing. Now, Elliot Anderson is not some guy we're bringing from Germany or France or we're bringing from Italy or Spain, some called a Galactico. He's not a Galactico. So I refute your kind of framing, Jarvis, because Elliot Anderson is not that. He's a fantastic footballer. He is what we need in the midfield. He's all actually an old school box-to-box midfielder, and he's better than anybody on the eye test and on the stats. The club have come out and said for almost how many months, they're briefing Ben Jacobs, briefing everybody, Laurie Whitwells, all of them, they've been getting briefed by the club. And you know it's not just one reporter. Do you know how you know it's the brief? It's not just one reporter saying it. It's not 2 reporters saying it. It's not 3 reporters. It's 4 reporters that are saying it. That's when you know it's the club that have briefed. He's their number 1 target, right? And then the club also kind of briefed. There's tier 1 and tier 2. We're looking at all these different midfielders. They also briefed Jarvis one side of their mouth. Oh, we're not going to go for Wharton because it's too similar to Kobe Mainu. Totally bullshit. Completely 2 different players. And then they got caught up in that one. Then Laurie Whitwell last week said, oh yeah, they were looking at Wharton as well. Now, I loved Alex Scott. But even that, I have to be careful that was the Iriola system that's making some of these, because Kirkus is the guy. Kirkus was the guy who had, was it 20 assists or something like that?
Yeah, 20.
He had so many assists at Bournemouth and went to Liverpool, and he didn't even look like the same player. He couldn't even defend. You know what I mean? He looked like he couldn't play that type of football, that slot. Is it slot football? So I'm even like, ooh, whoa, maybe we should just hold back here a minute. People, there's nearly 200 of you. We're not even got 100 likes. And get involved in the poll as well. Let me know if you guys are happy. So let me just say I've added a poll. Are you happy with Ederson, Fernandes, and Scott? Like and subscribe, people. 66% of you have said yes. 34% of you have said no at the moment. But keep voting and keep smashing the likes on the video. So for me, it's about me. My agenda is clear. It's holding these people to account, right? The vultures that have been behind us, that have been telling Manchester United for the past 2.5 years, nearly 3 years, they're going to be here now. By the beginning of next season or next December, it's going to be 3 years. 3 years that they've been at Manchester United by next December, right? 3 years. So at the end of the day, they said the best in class, and the decision making from Ineos and Glazers have been shocking. We've known from the Glazers, Ineos have been absolutely shocking. Wasting money, sacking people right, left, and center. Telling people to bring in sandwiches or they can only have soup. They can't have any meat or any fish or any meat in the canteen at Carrington at Old Trafford. It's absolutely embarrassing. Cutting money to the charity that looks after the players who play for us. You know, used to help them out for stuff like if they're severely ill, doing a bit of a care package for them or covering a bit of the cost of their funerals. And these are like European Cup winners. You know what I mean? From the 1960s. These are players that have put Manchester United on the map. So at the end of the day, this is how embarrassing this football club is. So then they come out and say these things. They waste all that money. They give, how much did they give to sack, what's his name? The director of football from Newcastle that we sacked.
Ashworth.
Ashworth, yeah.
Giving Ten Hag a new contract, then sacking him and all his coaches. Amarin, bringing him in, them sacking him, and all these coaches. What are we doing here? The amount of money they've wasted is unbelievable. So when they talk about and they brief a certain thing, because they want people to buy shirts, they want people to renew. Actually, they don't want people to renew. That's one thing. They don't want you to renew your season ticket. They want to take the season ticket back, and so they can sell them as corporate seats and just have daytimers, people who just go to football for daytime, like they just go to a sporting event in the US, like you would go to the Super Bowl. You don't have to be interested in. It's like some one big party you go to Super Bowl. That's what they're doing. The Americanization of European sports. has to stop. And we're this channel, we're going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you what is going on, people. It's my duty. It's this duty's channel. So the framing of this, like making out Elliot Anderson some sort of Galacticos, no. He is a fantastic player. He would be a homegrown player. We're going to need homegrown players, by the way, as well. That is part of the Premier League. We're not getting, when we're selling, we're getting rid of some players, but we're not buying in homegrown players. For me, I will always welcome Fernandes. I think Fernandes is talented. Me and Jarvis, both on the Tactical Devils, and on here, we spoke about how similar. We show you the stats. Scott and Fernandes are too similar. So what type of chemistry are we talking about, Jarvis?
Yeah, that's the thing, but I don't know this data analytics guy Sansoni too well. But for all we know, we have American owners. They want to go with the model of what's his name, Moneyball model. Maybe we are bringing in more players that can actually fill the role of Elliot Anderson just to save a buck. I don't know how we are actually trying to put this midfield together. But Nerdin, I don't know if
they're also briefing. By the way, they're also briefing that it's only going to be another midfielder. It's not going to be necessarily 3 midfielders. It's going to be 2. I saw that briefing as well. So
yes,
they told
yesterday,
everybody
yes.
It's going to be 3, and then today their briefing is maybe just 1 more after Ederson. It's laughable. It's laughable.
I don't know if you saw the latest report that came out now 5 minutes ago on Bloomberg.
Is this about Glazers, isn't it? About the
he put that on business. He put it on business. Big up user, but I didn't know he was trolling us. What they're saying about the Glazers?
Let me bring it up. See if I can find it here. So this is the report coming out from Bloomberg. I haven't screen saved it. So some members of the billionaire Glazers family have been debating whether to sell their stake in Manchester United after more than 20 years of ownership. That has often been
lighted by fans.
Lighted by fans protest. Yeah. So again, they are, according to this, trying to sell. And United report also comes out with this, breaking some members of the Glazer family are considering selling their stake in MUFC. Any sale is expected to attract interest from Middle Eastern investors and wealthy US buyers though the club will command a significant price. So most likely, knowing the Glazers, it's them putting this out there just to tell the world that they are looking to sell some stakes. But there are 6 of them, so again,
yeah, I mean, some of them might sell, but not all of them. They might not sell. But listen, at the end of the day, we've heard this before. They just want investors. They want investors. We all know what they want. They want investors, right? Yeah. We've been hooked and sinking. I have to see it to believe it. I'm sick of this saga. You get your hopes up. Last time I nearly organized a system outside in the forecourt next to the Trinity. The Trinity. The Trinity statue. I nearly organized a sound system to be put there so I can party for 3 days by myself. If it just me, if it was just me and I to party. No other fans, but just me and I. I was going to get a DJ. I was going to get...
I'd be over as well, man.
That's what I was going to do to party, seriously. Have a party on that.
Lawani's coming in with a bomber. Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, Lawani, where are you? You want to send you the link? Are you free, Lawani?
Listen, I just want to say something here.
No, I just wanted to make one last point.
Go ahead.
I don't believe you buying 3 or 4 midfielders if you're not having one quality guy that can knit it together. You have to have an outstanding. If you want this football club to be challenging for bigger trophies, you need the standards of buying. Now, Elliot Anderson could miss us now. He might already want to go City. I'm just saying that in the next top midfield that comes around, Manchester United have to get him. And we can't all be scared as fans to go, but it costs too much. Who the F are we? Accountants. These are the same Glazers who took 80 million world transfer record for Ronaldo. And what did we see? Overtime, Valencia, Michael Owen and a free.
And
You've all paid for TV. All of us paid for TV to watch Manchester United. All of us have paid for TV and to go to the ground and pay for it. Get the F out of here. What have they done? They have taken the money, and go and spend the money on players. Just because the bankers got some of those Galacticos wrong, that don't mean that as a club you shouldn't go and sign a marquee signing. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. It's about how you do it. It's about the environment you create, Jarvis. It's about the harmony, the team that you create. You do need top quality signing, and I'm sorry, these days and always in football, top quality costs money. Rio Ferdinand, 30 million, costs money. Wayne Rooney, 18 years old, costs money. Roy Keane, British transfer record. We broke the British transfer record with 3 players. Are you telling me that spine wasn't incredible? Roy Keane, Rio Ferdinand, and Rooney. What would they be deemed Galacticos now? Would they be too expensive now? I'm not here in Glazer Ineos framing. I'm not here for that, people. I am not here for that. They wasted $1.5 billion or billion on transfers on donkeys, but it was bankers who were buying it. Bankers. People didn't know what they're doing. And they still, I think, some of them are not. Some of these lot don't know what they're doing because they're learning on a job. Omar Barada's learning on a job. That's why they're making huge mistakes and costing the club money. That's why Wilcox is making mistakes because he's learning on the job. This is his first director of sport.
Yeah.
Right? Omar Barada is his first job as the CEO. He was the COF before.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just to comment on that, obviously, when it comes to like the Ederson signing, the one thing that really caught my eye was the medical is to be taking place.
They survived the
yeah, I seen that. Nice. The one thing that really caught my eye was his medical is being taken at early July, and I was wondering why is this? But I found out as well that apparently PSR, the whole PSR issues reset at the start of July. So this has me question that from now to the end of June, does Man United have any more funds coming into them before obviously the July PSR situation hits? And obviously we've been confirmed that we've received 190 million British pounds for qualifying the Champions League. We also got the 45 million pounds from Rasmus Højlund. We now got rid of Casemiro for the 350k or whatever it was per week. So like, there's money there to be spent, plus 190 million obviously on top of that, and plus obviously their earnings for what they earned obviously throughout the whole year with obviously pricing and all that shit, and revenue and all that. Like, I we've got money there. We've got a load of money there, and realistically, if you are Ineos, like you're playing it smart in terms of, if they were to go and buy one more midfielder before the July PSR situation, then that's a good thing. Like, obviously, because once the July kicks in, it resets the whole. Like, that's why most clubs aren't actually negotiating right now, because they're waiting to the start of July, because that's when PSR all that shit resets. But now, man, like, we can't forget about this as well. Like, Paris Saint-Germain, they bought Vitinha from Wolves, and we were all thinking, realistically, who the fuck was Vitinha at Wolves? Like, none of us were really thinking that Vitinha was going to be this world class fucking signing. We were all thinking, nah, it's good signing. Like, I wouldn't say it's over the top. And look what he's gone and done. Like, it's crazy how like a player from Wolves can go straight to PSG and be arguably one of the best midfielders in the world. Like, and we've just signed Ederson from Atalanta, and maybe we just need to like give, like, for example, Ederson. Yeah, obviously it's not my type of signing, but we need to give him a lot of backing and support, and hopefully he ends up as a good signing, because like you said, Jarvis, you remember you were showing us his stats. He is looking like a promising player in terms of an all-rounder midfielder, and I'm just gutted, man, because Anderson, Tchouaméni, Tonali's out there. Like, it just annoys me that the fact that, why can't we just go to these clubs and say, we don't want to pay 80 million or 90 million or even 100 million. Say if they went in for Elliot Anderson, people need to understand this as well. If we go and bid 100 million British pounds to Nottingham Forest, we're not actually giving them 100 million. We're giving them 10 or 15 million for the first whole season. It's all in installments, and that's what's called smart business. And like, I just don't know why we're not going down this route in terms of installments. But I don't know, man. I like you said, Nerdin, like, it's all fucking laughable, man. Like, we need to be assigning at least one of them marquee signings, and then the other two being obviously Ederson, but Fernandez or
100%.
Well, why do we not pay in installments? I just what doesn't make any sense.
At the end of the day, I believe Elliot Anderson, me personally, I've been watching him for a year and a bit, that a season and a bit, he is somebody that is not asked about that. He works hard, he grafts, he plays the ball forward, he can take it, he can do a job, whatever position. He can play as a number 6, as a number 8, or he could even go out wide and spam balls into the box, and correctly, by the way, other than just spamming them in. Big up Luwani. Luwani, welcome to join us, man. How you doing, bro?
Big up. Sorry I'm late. I was thinking
we were late, bro. We were late. And you know what? When I was trying to edit the time, when I was trying to edit the time, I edited the day that the show was on. What does that tell you, man? It's crazy. My phone, honestly, I need a new phone. Go ahead, Luwani. You good? Talk to us.
Yeah,
man.
I'm good. Thank you. I just caught one of your. I was listening. I heard you say top quality costs money. So I don't know. I just wanted to say, yeah, it's true. Top quality costs money, but
there's no secrets in football anymore. There's no secret gems. Like, remember Vidic? You didn't know who United have signed who? Vidic. Everybody knew about Evra. Evra was a top player. He was that team that took Monaco to the Champions League final. Right? That top team that Monaco had that season. Vidic, we didn't know about Vidic. We're like, Vidic, who? And then Vidic
don't slag me off too much on the panel today. I'm here to defend.
No, I'm just saying to you, I'm just rebutting with your first point that now everybody knows about everybody. And there's a certain price for certain type of profile of midfield that you have to pay. That is what I'm saying to you. Casado's made a huge difference to the way Chelsea are before he was there. Declan Rice has made a huge difference to Arsenal team. They won the league. Even playing crap football, they still won the league. Because his level of tracking back players and saving them. If you took Declan Rice's quality in terms of defensively away from them, the amount of tackles and latches, tackles, goals he prevents is unbelievable. But go ahead, Luwani.
Oh yeah, I came here to defend Omar Barada today and defend his Jason Wilcox as well, because not to sound contrarian. Not to sound contrarian, right? I'll give them credit when credit is due and blame them also. Yes, of course, I cannot decry the decision that went into the appointment of Carrick and the whole process. But so far, with what they're doing on transfer, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. With the signature of Ederson, I don't think it's an issue. Like I say in other stream, there is no particular order in which they need to sign the players, right? There is just a timeline by which they have to sign them by, so that everybody can be in coordination and go to training camp or go to the preseason on time together, so they can build that synergy. Now, when it comes to the marquee signing, look, we all know that Elliot Anderson, like we say, we rate him like one of probably the most valuable commodity in the league right now. So if you're going for somebody like that, especially coming from an owner like the Forest owner who moved like a mafia boss, you don't wanna give him the impression that you're too desperate. So you can wait till the dust settle and come back in. I think City went in with their first bid and they got rejected. And we can wait. We don't have to rush this thing. And the fact that we linked to Alex Scott after signing Ederson also made me think that so far, if you combine Kobe, Alex Scott, and Ederson, it's almost like they building a midfield, right? So you see, it's almost like different profile. So if the season were to start today, we still have 3 different profiles in the midfield, because Alex Scott is more of a cute passer, and Ederson is more of a runner, and Kobe Mino is more of a first phase player than those two. When you're talking about expensive, top quality players are expensive, it's true, but also top quality players used to be also unknown commodity or unfulfilled potential at the time. So rather than just go dashing money on ready-made players, which is what we used to do in the past and why we used to blame.
I'm not saying to dash. Please don't misunderstand me, Luwani. I'm not saying to dash money. I'm all of them. I'm talking about you have to have one marquee top midfielder if you're buying 3 midfielders. But carry on.
Yes, I agree with you. You have to have marquee, but there are circumstances attached to it. Just because you have to have a marquee midfielder doesn't mean that you have to overpay for him. That's where me and you disagree, because you say that if he's your marquee, you have the right to overpay for him. I said not necessarily, because one signing is one signing. If you overpay for a player and then something happens in the course of the season where you cannot use him to the value that you pay for him or to his own potential, you're still losing in this game. So I think we don't have all the information when it comes to this board and the way they're operating. We just know that they taking more of their time and they're adopting a different approach to the old board. So I think let's wait and see.
I disagree with you, Luwani, in terms of like you have to order what signings you have to get free first, because right now we've just signed Ederson. The whole fan base, well, majority of the fan base are all saying Ederson is our third midfielder. He's our third midfielder. He's going to be the bench player. But right now, since he's only just been signed, he's our first signing. Question marks need to be answered, because we don't know if Michael Carrick is going to be starting with Ederson, Kobe Mino, and Bruno Fernandes as our midfield. That could be Carrick's favorite midfield too, obviously, and Bruno Fernandes. Like, we don't know what Carrick's going to be doing, so we have to say Ederson's came through. He's going to be a starter, because obviously no of our midfielders has came in, and we just need to take it from there, man. And when it comes to the marquee signings, I do agree with you, Luwani, in terms of we shouldn't be overpaying. Like, you know, for example, if we have to remember as well, if Elliot Anderson just wants to go to Manchester City, then we need to walk away from the deal. But if Elliot Anderson wants to go to Manchester United and Nottingham Forest are saying, right, we want 110 million British pounds, then Man United have just got to do this. Okay, we're walking away from the deal. Thank you very much. Chouameni, we'll go to Chouameni or Tonali or whoever it is, and thank you very much for negotiating, but we'll say no. And that's how you operate as a football club. Whereas over the previous seasons, we've spent, like the Mbeumo signing, we spent a whole fucking month on negotiating with Brentford for, we were less, I think it was like 5 million, the valuation was apart, and we spent the whole month for negotiating, and we said, you know what, we'll pay the extra 5 million. But we should have moved on. Yes, I'm glad we got Mbeumo through the door, but that's, you know, it's called panicking, and that's what you've just brought up, Noana. We cannot be panicking at all. And like we've had panic signings in the past, man, and it hasn't worked out for us. The thing is, if Elliot Anderson is going to be our prime target, or whoever it is, like whoever the marquee signing is, if the if the club demand a price tag that's too much for us to spend, like for in the 90 to 100 million mark, you need to move on and proceed to your plan B, to your plan C. This is what I'm saying. We need a plan. You need a fucking plan. And if Elliot Anderson's your plan A,
you just brought up a great point. Great point, right? When you say if Ederson want us, we should go out of our way to sign him, and if he doesn't want us, we should walk away from the deal. I don't think that as a board that shouldn't be the way we should be operating. It's not about if the player wants us or not, because we tend to get caught in this emotional thing. We forgot these players are professional and they sign a contract on a dotted paper to play a game. So whether they want you or not, as soon as they sign for your club, they cross that line, they will play. But if we have a board that's making their decision based on that, we have a problem. I'd rather the board walk away from the deal because it's not the right deal, rather than if the player wants us or not. Because remember, Tonali, he didn't want to come to Newcastle, but guess what? He came in, he behaved like a professional, and he played his heart out, and he's always like that. So with that argument of if the player doesn't, it's good for us fans because he help us feel good, saying that hey, we want the player want to play for our club. But the reality is that these players, I don't think they really care who they play for. They will kiss the badge and then they'll go to the next team and then kiss the badge twice. Just the way business is conducted.
It's just what the football club wants. You know, obviously they see Ederson as a player that they see in terms of like Ineos have a plan. Like apparently Ineos apparently have a plan on what system they want to play, even though they've had two different systems now because Amram was their man and they sacked Amram, so their plan's out the door. Now they've brought in Carrick, who wasn't in their fucking plans, and all of a sudden they're like saying, "Oh, we have a system now in play. We have an identity now. Now that Carrick's came in, you know, we're gonna bring in players that suit our system." Like, you know, at the minute right now, that Ineos is just acting like a complete mess right now because we don't know what system we're going we don't know what our identity is. We don't know what system we are. You know, you've got clubs out there in the world, Barcelona, that stick to their system for 30 or 40 years. You know, I remember Johan Cruyff's brother or son, whoever it is, he kept mentioning 4-3-3. Barcelona never ever changed their formations, always 4-3-3. You know, whereas we've played different formations over the last decade, and I just don't know what our identity is anymore. But I agree with you in terms of you know, we shouldn't be taking account that we shouldn't be going all in on a player who always wants to come to Man United. 100%, I agree with you with that. You know, they're professionals at the end of the day. Everyone wants to play at Man United.
But Ben, by the way, I don't mind if Elliot Anderson wants to go to City. I only want players.
Same, bro. Same.
But I'm talking about, and my argument is about the marquee signings. But the
I agree.
Do not make a player your top signing without checking with him if he wants to come to the club.
Facts.
Go ahead.
I agree, 100%. But that's what I'm saying, though, Nerd. Like, you know, if Elliot Anderson wants to go to City, then you just move on. You stop fucking negotiating with Nottingham Forest. You move on to Tonali.
You see this straw man? I'm sorry, Ben. Sorry. Do you see this time space continuum? This is a straw man BS. I literally need to clear out your ears because I did not say that. I said if you sign in 3 midfielders, one of them has to be a marquee signing. I'm not talking about Galacticos. I'm talking about the price, the going price for top midfielders in the world right now.
Yeah.
And Elliot Anderson is homegrown, tick. He's not this kind of guy who's out and about. He's dedicated to football. He's a total grafter wherever the place is played on the pitch. He's got creative abilities, defensive abilities, possession and abilities. He comes on top of all the stats as being the most efficient. He's an old school number 8 or 6 or whatever. 10 at times. He's that good. So why did they say that? They used the fans to get the fans giddy, and that's what they've done. Now, if he doesn't want to come to us, no problem. Manchester United have missed out on. We missed out on Ronaldinho. We missed out on Batistuta. Batigo. You know what I mean? Listen, we missed out on greater players than Elliot Anderson. But the point I'm trying to say, why were they briefing? And that's a question you're never going to ask yourself. When you look up from that boot, ask yourself that question. Why have they briefed him? And you know it's a brief. You know why it's a brief? 4 different journalists said Elliot Anderson was Manchester United #1 target. Wouldn't you think they would check with the player first? See if it's interesting.
Can we start separating what they say in briefing to what they do in reality?
No, we cannot, because the briefing is there's a reason why they do the brief. There's a reason why they do the brief. What the players that they link with to get people to buy shirts. That's why they release the kits towards the end of the season and the beginning of a new season, because they want people to get excited and put their names, those players' names on the shirt. It's called marketing. I pay attention to this shit. Every season I pay attention to this shit. Trust me. And you know, it's so bad. It is so bad and desperate. Guess what we use? I think we're the only football club that actually uses our ex-legends to promote the shirts. because people are not buying it. Because people, United fans, still love. Last season, it was Rio Ferdinand and Wayne Rooney. This season, guess what? Who's promoting one of the kits? It's Dimitar Berbatov. What a player he was! What a first touch. Go ahead.
Because I'm just saying that because I believe that the people they doing the briefing is not intended for us fans. Maybe it's intended for people they doing business.
Manchester United,
right?
I'm sorry, Luani, you cannot
but
say
then
that.
If it's intended for us, man,
no other club that uses fan engagement. And listen, we've got a rumor mill in our own club website. What are we doing?
Okay, so if we're taking the bait, if we're taking the bait,
engagement.
If we're taking the bait of those briefing, that means the joke is on us. We cannot just be here protesting all the time. The Glazer this, the Glazer that. We're buying season ticket. We're filling up the stadium. We're buying into all the briefing, going to the mega store, buying all the shirts, and then we come and complain that they're making too much money. They're not reinvesting that money into the club. As fans, what is our standard? Maybe we should come to a conclusion, all of us collectively, that hey, you know what? When this team does not improve, no matter what briefing they put out there, we're not spending money on any good. I'm as guilty as that as you guys. I renew my subscription for MUTV, but maybe we should change our motives of operating.
Listen,
I'm absolutely gutted that you watch MUTV. I'm absolutely gutted. That's like for 20 years. For 20 years, Luani, all 20-something years, I have never. 21 years ago is the last time I went to the store and I bought. I used to love the woolly hats, yeah, and I bought a long sleeve shirt, a kit. People have bought Manchester United kits for me, and I always hope is that it's the Chinese version. Some of them I've worn, but I've never myself been in that store for 20-something. Other than shutting it down during protest. Carry on.
Just before you come and learn on it, I got to bounce people. I have an early start tomorrow. But big up. No, always, man. I'm always here, man. If you need me, I'm around, man. But yeah, big up to the chat, man. Before obviously I say my final words, I don't know where anyone has seen on social media, but Henri, sorry, I can't remember who the players were, but Lamine Yamal is now doing a sponsorship for the World Cup for McDonald's, and I'm very, very disappointed in Lamine Yamal after him, supporting and showing his Palestine, flag around the Barcelona. Like, what is Lamine Yamal thinking, man? Like he's basically supporting a Zionist brand, and I don't know what's going through Yamal's head, man. But honestly, bro,
Barcelona support the state of Israel as well.
True. It's shocking, bro. But big up to the chat, big up to Jarvis, big up to Luani, man. And do you know what, Nuruddin? I'm all agreeing with you, man. We need to buy one marquee signing, whether that's Tchouameni, Tonali, or Anderson, and then the other two players. Obviously, we've got Ederson through the door. Welcome Ederson once again. It's either Fernandez, Baleba, Wharton, all around there. But look, no matter what signings we get through the door, if people are saying if the board's setting up character feel at the job, and you know what, man, that's music to my ears, bro, because I've been saying this for the last 5-6 seasons when people kept blaming managers, it's this that this board has thrown managers under the bus for the past 5 or 6 seasons, hence why we've been so shit in the last 6 seasons, man, or the last decade, you would say. And the more fear and the more anger that this fan base puts into the board, the better, man. The better. But sadly, there's going to be many carrick-outers in this fan base, and they're all going to go for Carrick. They're not going to go for the owners, just like what Ruben Amorim was, just like Ten Hag was. And it's just sad, man, because even though I'm not really Carrick's biggest supporter, but it would make me really angry that if all the fans are going to be all on Carrick instead of all on any else, man. Like, these owners are we're not going to get anywhere with these owners, man. They're incompetent people. Like Luani kept saying, they're competent, but they're incompetent. They haven't got a Scooby-Doo what they're doing, bro. And yeah, man, we just
Luani's making confessions tonight. Confessions.
The only sign I'm actually getting giddy. The only
I'm
signing,
just trying to see
He's
both
subscribed
sides.
to
I'm just trying to see
the-
both sides of
That's
the
like a
argument.
dagger to my heart.
the only signing I'm looking forward to right now that we've been linked to is Lewis Hall. I can't lie. That's one signing I'm actually really looking forward to because
Jarvis not sure about him, you know. Jarvis not sure about
we
him.
gotta have a debate, Jarvis. We gotta have a debate. But look, another day, bro. But big up the chat, man. Smash the likes, people.
Big
up.
Come on, man.
Big
Big up,
up.
Nerd, man. Peace.
Big up.
Big up,
The
man.
only
Appreciate
reason
you all the
I'm
time.
trying
Love.
to make the argument
Of
today,
the Irish,
the
man.
only
Of the
reason I'm
Irish.
trying to make that argument
The Irish.
is because we keep talking about marquee signing. Why don't we talk about marquee homegrown like Kobe Mino or marquee academy develop? Because after all, one of the great team, the most successful team of the world, developed Iniesta, Messi, and Busquets and all that. And I'm old enough to have seen also all those flower players, those great players come out of the Ajax Academy, developed by Luis Van Gaal, all those Seedorf and Edgar Davies and all of that. So why don't we make our own fortune? Because after all, one of the greatest generation
We don't
have
develop
are
players
United.
because we're not stable enough. We're not stable enough, Luana. You know the answer. We're not stable enough for us enough to develop. Football clubs that are stable can develop players, young players. They can bring through young players. Somebody just here, 10 United saying, it's the same people who complain about every time, oh, we don't control the game. We're not looking sustainable. We're not looking sustainable. It's the same ones who want Anderson. Listen, Anderson is a multifunctional footballer. He can play in a possession-based team that wants to control football games. Tonali, I don't know. Tonali likes the ball to move. He's all action. He's got a lot of energy. I've seen Newcastle control with that playing that three combination of Guimaraes and Joe Linton and Tonali. I've seen them control games. They've controlled Manchester United every time we go up there, whether they're playing with 10 men or not. They control the game. We don't control the game. They control games. Have you seen our record over there? That's why I want to get away from playing. To me, honestly, if it was up to me, I'll say, Bruno, you've broken this record. It's been great. Can somebody meet that? Can somebody please meet his buyout clause and send him on his way and rebuild properly and buy 3 midfielders properly that we can play 3 midfielders in midfield? But that's just me. Go ahead, Luani. Or you want to come in, Jarvis? Yeah, we already seen the quote. We talked about it a little bit about this, but we don't believe it because every time they needed an investment, they trot out the same thing. Oh, some of the family. So they're not saying it's a full sale. Say some of the family maybe want to sell. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, I was sorry for going quiet for 5 minutes. I've been sitting here doing research on the Glazers, the shareholders, Class A, Class B, Ineos, and all of this. So if you give me 2 minutes, I'll break it down for you as good as I can, because what's actually going on now with the report from Bloomberg, for all you new arrivers, this came out tonight. Let me just bring it up for you. So. Add to stage, see if we can do this. Some members of the billionaire Glazers family have been debating whether to sell their stakes in Manchester United FC. So this is the
look at the language, Jarvis. Can we please repeat the language?
Yes,
some are debating.
Members.
That's debating.
That's the key. But when you look at it, when you break it down, because what we know for a fact is that Ineos now have 25% of Class B. That's Class A was the shares with 1 voting rights, and Class B is the one with 10. So they are 10 times as strong. So we have 25% of Class B, and they have like 3 to 4% of Class A that he bought on the open market. So Ineos now control 25% of the voting rights. That's the key in all of this.
To be precise, Jarvis, it's 28, I think.
Yes, but you have to differentiate with the 25 with Class B and Class A. So 25% of voting power. So what needs to happen for this to be a success for Ineos? Because they have a protection mechanism, the Glazer family. So if they sell to someone outsiders, let's say an outsider comes in, try to do a hostile takeover, push them to buy, the voting rights from the Class B shares will go down to Class A shares. So the voting rights will disappear. This is how the Glazers are protecting themselves. but they have a amendment that's saying approved buyers, and they are approved by the board and the shareholders. Don't miss out. So let's say if it's Ineos and Ratcliffe who's coming in to buy these shares from either Darcy, Kevin, Brian, Avram, Joe, whatever, you know, if some of them come in, the Class B share will still exist. So if Ineos comes in and try to buy out Darcy, for example, she owns 13%. So if he buys out Darcy, if he buys out Kevin, Brian, or one of the others with 10%, suddenly Ineos will be the strongest when it comes to voting rights. So they will take control. They don't need to own 50% of the club, but they need to have the majority of the voting rights. And this is what they can't do if they get to buy Darcy or Kevin or Brian. So if two of them sells to Ineos, suddenly the grip of the Glazers will disappear, and it will be Ineos who will be in control. So it's quite interesting if you look at it, and things can happen.
But
this
also,
is a process.
Jarvis,
it will take years.
Yeah, one thing to add also, at this moment in time, somebody who's not Ineos can come out and buy the football club, and Ineos will be forced to sell the club to somebody who wants to take full control of it.
Yes.
That timing passed in January. You know, January, December is the time they lost. There was a moment that person couldn't come in and do that. After that lapsed. So it was contractually after nearly 2 years, somebody from the outside can come in and fully take over.
Yes, but it has to be approved by the board to keep the Class B shares. That's the thing. So it's kind of tricky because they need to be approved by the current owners.
But Jarvis, because the Glazers are the majority shareholders, Jarvis, they can bully Ineos to sell. Ineos is written to the contract. It's not whatever the Class B were. It's written in the contract that Ineos bought the football club through. That if the Glazers accept the offer for the whole football club, Ineos will be forced to sell.
Yeah. So again, you know, it could be either of the two things. It could be someone outsiders coming in. It could be Ineos trying to get their voting rights bigger, get more influence on the club. But we don't know. We don't know anything yet besides this report. But it's good to just break it down and have all the facts. So it could end in something positive. Let's say if two of them sell, but if only let's say Darcy sell, the Glazers will still be in the majority voting right. So we need at least two of them to sell to Ineos.
For the Glazers, can I just say this one second, Luane? Just to add one more thing before you come in, Luane. For the Glazers, they need the more investors to come in because they want to sell to the highest bidder, not just to Ineos. They wanna have a bidding to the highest bidder. So it suits the Glazers for them to try to get. I think that Ineos bought, I think, wasn't it 33?
Yeah, we know the price. It's $36 a share.
$36 a share.
Yeah.
Right. And they want somebody to go up to 40. They wanted Qatar to go up to 40 or something. Overall, take over the football club by 6 billion or whatever. Even though the club is really worth 3 point something, nearly 4 billion. But go ahead, Luane.
What I want to say to that effect is that there is an adage that usually says that it's the hardest people to steal from are thieves because they have everything in place to make sure it doesn't happen. When you talk about the Glazers, if you look them up, pretty much that whole family they have masters and they are very accomplished. They went to school properly in economic, even all the way to the girls. So that family is pretty much well set. They know what they're doing. They've been cooking the books for a long time. Then with their relation in the financial market and people they know, the chances of somebody pulling a takeover on them are very, very hostile takeover are very remote because they got there by pulling a hostile takeover as well. Yes. That's what they did. So when you talk about the remote possibility of them the other shares being sold and the possibility of Ineos taking over, I think just that it's just too remote because the Glazers did not introduce that clause that says that they can only allow approved buyers. They did not introduce that clause by chance, and that's the clause that still give them the power to approve who's gonna, who is not. They might not control who the shareholders are selling to, but they can control who's buying. So to that effect, they can veto the sale to anybody if they feel that they're not benefiting from that. I think the only thing that can save the club is a full sale decided by the Glazer when and where they want. They are, yeah.
Big up. 10 United say, Nurin, can you please explain what you mean by marquee? Well, I've explained it. Casado is a marquee signing, top quality midfielder. Declan Rice is a marquee signing. He makes a massive difference to that team. The likes of Paul Ince, Roy Keane. So Elliot Anderson, for me, is a ceiling lifter because of his quality. He's also got he is somebody who lifts the ceiling, right? Like lifts the level of quality. But then he's also got higher ceiling in terms of potential to be even better than he is right now. That's what I'm talking about. Casado, Declan Rice type of level. Some people say Enzo Fernandez. I think Enzo Fernandez is a bit like that. Casado's been more consistent than him at Chelsea. But Enzo Fernandez is more of a box-to-box, sometimes 10, can play more. It's like a number 8 at times, scores goals. He's that type of player. But Casado, for me, is the backbone of Chelsea's midfield. Declan Rice has been, for the past how many seasons he's been there, the standout midfielder for Arsenal. I actually never used to think he was that good, but he went there, raised his ceiling.
Yeah. Especially
these defensive actions, his recoveries and tracking back and putting fires out. Saliba and Gabriel look good. People, when they don't watch Arsenal, don't watch Declan Rice, the amount of challenges he puts in their box, the amount of challenges, the amount of way he chases back. Well, that's what I'm talking about. And Elliot Anderson, for me, has got all of the attributes to be that top strike, top midfielder. He's been consistent with he's had 5 different managers at Nottingham Forest who play 5 different ways. And he still looks the number 1 player in their midfield. And don't tell me, please, that, what's his name? The guy who had his nose busted. He's more of a number 10 and he plays on the wing sometimes. He's not their midfield. That Elliot Anderson is. But like I said to you, I forget about him. I'm just saying to you, Mark.
Angelo Stiller.
No, Dean.
Was it Angelo Stiller you were talking about? The guy in the boom? No.
No. What I was saying was, I was just trying to make the point of saying that I don't mind if he chose Man City. I'm talking about Manchester United have to be in the market for a player like that, because players like that raise the levels. They get you from the floor to here, right? By signing.
Yeah.
Paul Ince raced Manchester United. Brian Robson was getting on Manchester United when I signed Roy Keane. Those two took us to the next level, to a league title. What are we doing here?
Yeah, but I don't think we are out for raising the levels. I think we are trying to maintain the levels, trying to replace Casemiro, try to come in next season, do a decent FA Cup run, League Cup run, Champions League, and come in, qualify for the Champions League. I think the big signings is in the plan for next summer. That's just how I see it, because, if we go by Ineos and the track record they went for attackers last season, midfielders this season, we will do some defense. But I think when we have quality, we can or depth, we can add quality to the depth. But now we have tried this before, and Man United tried to add quality to a deficient squad. It doesn't help, it drains the players that comes in, the big stars. They can't do it by themselves. We have been looking at Bruno now for years. Casemiro, when he came in first, he tried his best. We saw Ronaldo coming in. We have all of these players trying to push us to the next level, but we don't have the depth in the squad. So I think this is not the plan of Ineos. I think we are trying to build stone by stone. So I get what you're saying, Nordin, and I agree on Elliot Anderson. He will raise the levels, and we need those type of players, but not necessarily in this window. Now it's more about getting the squad depth, trying to maintain the quality level we already have, and build on that. So
yeah,
my question then when you say Marquis, why can't we have Marquis homegrown? Why can't we have
I told you I already explained to you.
Marquis Bergen.
I already listen, I already told you. I'll explain it. I'll explain again to Mlawani. Manchester United is not a stable football club, you know. You saw the homegrown talent that which we produced, Kobe Mainoo. I've been watching Kobe Mainoo since he was 14 years old, 15 years old, yeah?
True.
And I was talking about him. And if you go look at my tweets, I was talking about him when he broke into that youth team, right? So, I'm telling you, Manchester United almost lost him to go permanently because Manchester United is not stable football club enough that hires coaches. First of all, we've not defined number one, Luwani. And that's why this date, the thing about it, that's what I'm saying, you can't be half pregnant. You talked about a data before, the Moneyball. Explain to me what types of football. Every one of the teams who use the Moneyball have a way of playing. The club chooses a way of playing. They use the Moneyball. Then they hire coaches and players that fit that system. Every one of those. But we're not doing any system. We go and get somebody like Amorim, and I understood why Amorim did not want to play. Amorim does not like playing through the midfielders. He didn't do that at Sporting Lisbon. He played through the centre-backs. So the homegrown star, Marquis, we've almost lost him because, like I explained before, we're not stable enough and we don't know what we're doing. We hire coaches that play totally different style of football. Then we bring in players that don't fit that type of coach. And then we sack those coaches. We hire another coach. And then the coaches that, the players that the style, the system that coach had doesn't fit. Then we got more of that's been the story for the past 14 years, Luwani. I'm sorry, you picked on the wrong one to ask that question. I've been banging on about it for all those years. Stability is where developmental plan for young players comes from. It's stability. Me and Jav, everybody, I told Javas about what's his name? The young ginger player. I always forget his name, man. But it's not ready.
Thwaites.
Jimmy Thwaites. He's got fantastic technique. His first touch, the way he lets the ball come on his left, the way he picks up, the way he spins on the ball, the way he can straight away get his head up. He's got that kind of Scholesy kind of brain where he can hit the fullback, so he can hit the winger right on their toe. 30 yards, can switch the play both sides. He's not physically ready. I don't want him to come in. I don't want him to come in, get bullied and roughed up in and then he's named to be trending on X, and then for him to lose confidence. We've seen that before because we're not stable enough. We throw in young players, we don't protect them. Coaches play them to death. That's what happened.
What do you define by stability? Is it stability, legacy, win, consistency?
No, stability. Stability is no. I'll explain to you what stability is. Right, Bayern Munich as a football club. So I'll tell you what stable football clubs are. Bayern Munich is a stable football club. It's a stable football.
Let's not go outside. Let's stay in the
Premier League. Liverpool have been a stable football club. This is the first sacking of a manager that they've done in a long, long time. In terms of Klopp gave them stability because Klopp, the fans bought into the football. The club with them buying players for the system. So Klopp and the directors of football and the football structure worked in cahoots to come up with a system, a way of playing. They went and recruited. At times, he wanted Julian Brandt. Is it Julian Brandt? Was it the winger from Dortmund he wanted? But they said to him, "Nah, Salah's better. Here's the metrics." That's stability.
But no, if you say Liverpool stability,
Liverpool had stability under Jurgen Klopp, 100%. Young players can develop, like Trent Alexander-Arnold can be developed. Trent Alexander-Arnold can be developed, Curtis Jones can be bought through. Elliot, whatever his name, the Elliot guy, was still a decent player for them. You could have that. Klopp leaves, it all goes chaos. The point what I'm trying to make to you, it's not just by the coaches, it's by the club. It is by the way the club wants to play. Manchester United still, we do not know what system we're going to play. We want to go to play Ten Hag football. Let me finish. Ten Hag football to Amarin football to now Michael Carrick football, which is more like what Ole had, what Jose had. We play more on a counter. We do mid-low block. We're happy to not play without the ball, and then we hit teams on the counter.
So would you qualify Brighton as
Manchester City
club?
Manchester City, with or without Pep, have been a stable football club because they've had a solid structure. Berestein and what was the other guy? Soriano. They were there before Pep got there. They were working with Pellegrini. They were working with Mancini, some of them. So City, with Maresca, there'll be stability to be able to bring through youngsters like O'Reilly came through and Foden's come through. There was stability. Even if they were changing managers, those players will still come through because there is stability and they know what they're doing in terms of the coaches they pick, the system that they want to play. They pick. Manchester United, we still don't know. Nobody's come out and said, we've now got a sporting director, a footballing director, a head of recruitment, a CEO. None of them have come out and said, this is how we're going to play. This is our system. And we're going to hire coaches according to the system, and we're going to build a team and a squad. We don't. We do things by halves.
No, I just want to make sure we don't pick and choose, right? Because when you're talking about stability, I just want to make sure we're not confusing winning with stability.
No, I'm not talking. No, stability is not winning. Stability. You know how many years did it take Jurgen Klopp to win the big trophies, to challenge for a Premier League title or the European Cup? 4 years it took him. But in between that, he got to a couple of UEFA Cup finals, and then they won. I think they won the League Cup. Then he won an FA Cup. So he built up to that to go and challenge for the big prizes. But the big thing, what was the stability that that Klopp bought was that the football structure and him was singing from the same hymn sheet. And then the players like Trent were allowed to be bought through from the academy in a stable where they know exactly how they're going to play. Then that young player like Trent was coached how Klopp and how the structure wanted him to play. So that's what the stability is. When Manchester United have not defined a system, they go from mixed match, and then we've got mixed match squads in the last 14 years. That is a fact. Let me just get these super chats. Big up. Let me just get this super chat and I'll come back to you. Hall, hell, Anderson, Mateo, Scott, Indai. Okay, Lewis Hall, Ederson, Mateus, Scott, Indai, Krupi, a centre back or another midfielder. I say arguably that improves us more than a marquee midfielder's thoughts. That's a lot of players. That is a lot of players. And I don't think you put a centre back in there. I think we're going to struggle in the centre back department next season. Let me just get this. Just one for instance, Jarvis is right. Next year needs to be about racing the floor. Carrick's getting a commitment to the plan. At Arsenal, they were more togetherness than the quality. Arteta built an amazing team spirit. Yeah, that's a fair point. A good example is what's happening with Lewis Skelly. Arteta spent the whole year training him for the midfield behind the scenes because they have depth in that position. Now look, he's taking some exactly. That's called development. That is what you call developmental plan. So he's not playing. He's been really harsh on him. That's what I think Declan Rice could come out and said that. He's been really hard. And that's why obviously he's aging and that. People were saying, yeah, he wants to go because he wants to play. You know what I mean? But then he comes into the team and it actually gives them stability. Lewis Skelly gives them stability in midfield. And he actually has more vertical passes straight through breaking the lines than Supermendy, who just gives it 5 yards, 10 yards sideways. Go ahead, Luani.
Yeah, everything you just described about stability seemed to me like you're talking about Bournemouth or Brighton. Would you say Bournemouth or Brighton are stable clubs?
Brighton is, because Brighton have a way of playing. So I'll explain to you again. Brighton have a system of playing. what they do, they sign players according to those systems. Then they hire coaches who play that styles of football. They went from Potter, Harry Potter, to De Zerbi, to this guy now. Now, not all of them play exactly the same way, but their football is similar, then completely different. So Brighton is, Brentford is. Bournemouth, I don't know about Bournemouth, because I remember they played total different football before the guy, what's his name? He became the Wolves coach before Areola. He was playing a different types of football to Areola. But Brentford and Brighton are, and guess what they both of them used, Jarvis? The Moneyball system.
Yeah.
Brentford would not have been, actually the owner of Brentford, he was the first guy to actually prove that success of the Moneyball system, Jarvis. You know the divisions, when he bought them from whatever divisions to bring them up, and now the club is worth a lot of money. So look what they did. The set piece coach guy took over, and the ceiling's still there, raised to our next level where they qualify for Europe. Thomas Frank didn't do that. They lost all the players, but they keep the same system. They recruit. Their recruitment is A1 because they know what they're recruiting for. Bournemouth, I don't know about.
I'm just surprised that you're talking about the. I'm surprised that you're talking about the money ball in terms of the model for stability, because we all know the money ball.
Well, it has
the
been.
reason
It's
they
been successful.
It's
been successful.
No,
read about Brentford. I need you to read about Brentford. Read about Brentford, what he did. This guy used data. The money ball is the money ball system. I'm saying that the money ball, but it's data. It's strictly data driven. It tells you if you sign this player, how many times, I mean, you can ask for one thing. How many times, how many touches of the ball does he have in that area? What kind of is he a ball carrier? What then leads to chances? Do you create in a chance for your team? It goes specific types of data, and they hire, they sign players on specific type of data points. They don't just do that. They use data to improve the players as well while they're there. They work hard and have developmental plans for their players. They do that. In Burma, we saw that in Burma when he first came to Brentford. He played in a certain way, and then they hadn't developed him. Actually, some of the goals went down for a bit, but because they would try to teach him in a way that to fit in the system that they were playing. And the thing about Brentford, they were quite flexible in the way that Thomas Frank played Jarvis. Sometimes he will go all attack. At times, he will play wing backs. They will do a low block, depending who they were playing against. If they were playing at home, they had a totally different tactic to when they were playing away.
I just think the Moneyball model only suit clubs that are like a selling club model, but not necessarily suitable for clubs that are challenging for the league.
Liverpool,
because
the Moneyball system. Liverpool used the Moneyball system, and they won a Champions League and 2 league titles. They're not a selling club. Liverpool used the Moneyball system. Liverpool, out of the top teams, was the first team to use. I think City were using it with Soriano and Beristain, right? But Liverpool were the first to.
Was Liverpool convicted for stealing Chelsea's database on players?
Yes, certain part, yeah. But the Chelsea were also using Jarvis. The Chelsea database came from a company. You know, these there are specific. I know, yeah. And Ibrahimovic was using these consultants. Everybody was like, why is he like the director of football, Ibrahimovic? Because he had 2 different companies and the heads of these firms who were consulting him personally. So what's his name? Something Edwards. I forgot what his first name is, but he was one of the
Martin
guys.
Edwards. No, not Martin.
What's his name? Something Edwards.
Yeah.
They were using that system, and it took them. I repeat again what you said, Luani. It took them to 2 Champions Leagues, and if Pep wasn't here, it would have been 3 or 4 league titles. That's what it would have took them.
But Nuruddin, I want to bring something up, because this is on topic. We're talking about stability of the club, and we know our structure and the club, how we are set up. And big up, Said. I was thinking of talking about this tomorrow, but we might as well just talk about this now, because Brighton, this bomber came out yesterday and no one has talked about it, and it's Jason Ato, and he's left his role as sporting director with immediate effect of Brighton. This was yesterday. And Brighton, you know, they are a well-driven club, and this guy, he has a track record. He's basically Edu's right-hand man. He came from Arsenal. He was signing all the guards and the Rice and all of these big signings from Arsenal. So he knows his thing. We know that we sacked our sporting director Ashworth. He was supposed to be the link between the departments. And he got sacked, and we don't have a link between the departments. This guy suddenly loses his job a week before the window opens. You know, it's madness. And Brighton is a well-run club. So what have happened? There have been no reports. I'm just speculating by talking about this. But it made me think maybe this is the guy who will replace Ashworth as the sporting director. He will come in. He has a big track record. He's been with Arsenal for 7-8 years. He have signed so many big players with Ederson, and suddenly loses his job. And you know what? We need a sporting director, the guy who can come in, be the link.
Jarvis, we already have that role. Vivell is filling that. Sorry, the sporting director is Jason Wilcox in our current model. The director of football is Vivell. And there's one guy who's the head of recruitment, and there's another guy who's come from Man City to be the academy guy. I think this guy might be going to Liverpool. Who needs somebody? Could he be going to Chelsea? Chelsea one. Maybe Alonso asked for something like this. Maybe it's Liverpool. I would say more Liverpool than Chelsea for me personally. But I'll be shocked and surprised, and you will get the credit if it's United that are getting it.
It would have been nice, but you know, it just surprises me no one has talked about this and mentioned this, because I think it's quite a big news, and he could potentially come to Man United as far as I see, because we know we need one extra guy after Ashworth left.
Did he resign, or was he leaking out some of the? Maybe he was.
No, there haven't been any reports from Brighton, because everything has been shut down. But it's very strange, him losing the job. And, you know, they have a chairman. Brighton is Tony Bloom. You know, he's been in this job for so long, and is so well driven.
He used to work at Spurs or something. He used to work for another football club, Tony Bloom. He used to work
Tony Bloom, yeah.
I think was it Spurs? It might have been Spurs.
Yeah.
But again, you know, I just find it funny that we decrying the Americanization of football. With the invasion of the stat and the analytic, but yet we kind of trying to give credit to the money ball for the success that certain things are having in the league. I just think the only purpose of the money ball is to put a little bit more money into the owner's pockets and make the whole thing a little bit more profitable. And I don't think that will ever work. So that's ever sustainable applied to football especially, or any collective sport to that effect. So it's just like just milking a cow to death after injecting it with all kind of hormone just to increase the productivity. I just don't believe in that kind of stuff.
Listen, that's a fair point. For me, a good player is a good player. You do your background check. You go and watch him. Manchester United got rid of scouts. Ed Woodward, when we first come to Manchester United, I talked about it on this channel many a time, got rid of, and I've showed the quotes of those scouts, right? Now, it is a way of shortcutting using data. All it is just data. We call it the money ball, but I mean, I don't even like the money ball. It's just using data. And data is used by every sphere of life now. Data is king. Instead of saying cash is king, data is king. It's just the times. But for me, nothing beats the eye test. You could show me all of the stats and that, because stats without context mean F all for me. Right now, but if you've got certain things, instruments that can measure a player from where they go, where they've got the ball at left back, the amount of touches or the types of runs they make or the types of dribbles that they do that would affect the striker. That's an interesting thing to find out. The efficiency of the players. That's an interesting instrument to be able to tell you from what you've seen with your eyes. You've watched him, for example, me as a scout will watch a player, and then the data just confirms what you've seen with your eyes. That happens in all sport. At the top level of sport. Listen, at the top level of sport, that's it. The other stats I talk about are completely, totally different things. There are stats that tell you, like the XG, they don't tell you where the shot, was it one-on-one, specifically. Now they've introduced big chance created. But okay, the opinions of big chance can mean different. The way you see it, the way Java sees it. What I'm saying to you is that I don't mind using stats. I want stats to be more contextualized to specific types of actions. In different sports, in American sports, it's easier because they've had all these years to hone down what exactly it is. In football, it's because it's new to them, it's very difficult to do that. By the way that FIFA have got the football, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, have you seen the World Cup new rules, by the way?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Have you not seen the
That's
World Cup new rules?
No, not yet.
Some fascinating. So one of them that I actually like is the corners. If the players are grappling with each other before the ball is being kicked, it's going to be a penalty. And it only works on attacker's favor. There it is.
Yeah. Here it is. So let me just read it through. FIFA has announced a series of major World Cup rules changed amid at improving discipline and reducing gamemanship. So goalkeepers will no longer be allowed to use tactical timeouts. Players will be prohibited from approach.
Explain that, Jarvis. 1 second. Let me just explain each rule as you explain it. So the goalkeepers will no longer be allowed to use tactical timeouts. We saw it. Raya used it in the Champions League final. So then the players all went to Arteta. He was like, And Arsenal have used it throughout the whole season, and last season they were using it. And another big team that came up with that is Simeone at Atletico Madrid. Very much. Also, Eddie Howe, who also learned from Simeone. But go on, carry on. That's
And the goalkeepers will no longer be allowed to use this, and players will be prohibited from approaching the tactical area during stoppages. So they can't go to the coach and then gather. Again,
but the
it's also
allowed. The captain's allowed.
Captain's allowed. VAR will have expanded authority to review attacking fouls before set pieces. So also against Arsenal in a way. Another one. This is the racist accusation that came from was it Richard Rios? No, the Benfica player on the Real Madrid striker.
Whatever his name was. Yeah, he covered his mouth.
Yeah, Vinny Jr. So this one is you're not allowed to cover the mouth by in confrontations.
Yeah,
you will be punished by a red card. So if you go to a player are aggressive and you do this, it's an automatically red card.
If you're talking to your teammate, Jarvis, and you're doing this, no problem. The key thing is in an aggressive manner. If you're doing that in an aggressive manner, that's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, there are some new rules, but I welcome them. Actually,
there's another one, Jarvis. There's another one. Goalkeepers, more than throw-ins are more than 5 seconons. So now what we've been seeing, is really interesting because I'm like, how the hell are you going to apply that? So they're saying they're going to be asked 5 seconds to take the throw-in, right? So we've seen it in the Premier League, especially with Arsenal and other teams. We've seen once you get like in the, like the opposition near the corner, near their corner flag, the opposition's corner flag, if you get a throw in there, what happens now in the Premier League? Declan Rice will run up, Saliba and Gabriel will be making their way. That takes about 20 seconds. So is it going to be, they've not come out and explained yet, is it going to be when the player, when the thrower who's going to take the throw in, when he has the ball in his hand, or when the whistle goes for a throw in? Do they have 5 seconds? Because in the Premier League, it's going to be mad because you won't be able to get up there. It takes about 20 seconds for Saliba, Saliba and Gabriel to get up there for the long throw-in.
I think they're gonna have to leave it to the judgment of the referee.
Well, that's going to be interesting. And another rule, Jarvis, I don't know if you had on there.
There's a substitution. The The substitution thing. So when the fourth official puts off his sign and the players gets told to sub, he have 10 seconds to leave the field. If it takes more than 10 seconds, he will be allowed to exit the field. But the player who are entering the field will have to wait 1 minute or plus the next stop of play. So it could be, you know, if the ball is in play for the next 3 minutes, he will just have to wait it out, and your team will be down one man until the next stop of play.
The other
minimum
rule that
1 minute.
Yeah, the other rule that I was reading about, it's the worst one. It's the worst rule. Guess what? If you score, and Jarvis and Luani, but it was a corner, but it came off the attacker by the last. So, like, let's say Rashford, for example, let's say Ahmad is taking on somebody, right? We're attacking, he goes down the byline, he goes on the outside, and he's trying to cross the ball. If by that time the defenders try to tackle him and he's trying to skip past him, the ball touches the defender, then touches him, and then let's say the ball then ricochets slightly of Ahmad's thing, and he went out for a corner and we scored from the corner, VAR is going to check that. VAR will check that and say, oh, so VAR will just usually check the box what's going on.
But I don't think that will be... Will that be applied for the World Cup already?
Yes.
Okay. Because there are two sets of new rules, one for the next Premier League season and Champions League season, and one for the World Cup.
The one for the World Cup, I think this one that I'm talking about is for the World Cup. So set pieces, like if he goes out for a throw-in or goes out for a corner kick, we're going to have to see who the ball come off by, or if was the ball in. You know what I mean? We have to look at the ball. Did the ball come in before the goal? So every goal's getting checked. But then it's kind of schizophrenic because 1 minute they're like, we want the game to flow, but then you're going to stop time. So you're going to be wasting and like zooming in. Oh, who did it come off last before that team scored from that corner? Yeah.
The intriguing one for me is the one you talk about, or when the players are grappling on a set piece, there will be a penalty given. So how do we know? Because
this is the only thing
are grappling.
But this is a weird thing, Jav. From what I read of that one, and I could be wrong, is that it's only attacking players who get the fouls. So the defenders don't get it the other way. So if the attacker's grabbing a defender, they're not going to give it. They're not going to give a free kick the other way. It's only is that before the ball is kicked, if anybody's grappling, it's a yellow. It might be a yellow card and a penalty. That's. And I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting.
That is crazy. So an attacker can literally take a defender, throw him to the ground, and...
But what they're saying is that they give our attackers more freedom to be able to make runs. I think that's a good thing because Arsenal, God, oh God, they shouldn't be able to do that. People are with 150 likes. Let me just get the poll numbers. 72% of you have said you will be happy. You are happy with Ederson, Fernandes, and Scott, even though Fernandes and Scott are similar players, for me anyway. Scott's more in the terms of Scott. The stats say that the stats look like they're very similar, but Scott's more of a box-to-box. I think Fernandes can play more as a number 10 if he wants to, or deep lining playmaker. But
yeah, I have to give you credit when it comes to Scott. I think you're the first person to be talking about him, and then now his name is everywhere. I've had to kind of back off a bit, Luani, to be fair with it, because I've looked at his injuries and I'm like, the way he plays, he likes to get injured. He's already had an ACL at this age already. He's already had an ACL.
Yeah.
So that is,
you know, he used to be a winger.
Yeah. That's why he can run.
He
didn't
with the come up as a central midfielder. He came out as a winger. That's why he's so good at carrying, dribbling, running with the ball.
But so Kobe Mainoo.
When Giggs used to play central for at this later years for Man United. So maybe I see some similarities there.
You know that Kobe was that as well, Jarvis. When I first watched Kobe played as a winger.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Look it up. Honestly, Kobe was a winger. He played more times on the wings.
Wow.
The American. That's why Kobe's got amazing close control as well. Like you can skip past people. And Kobe sometimes used to play with his left as well, like left foot, like both feet. The Americanization of football, all sports have 100% breaks increase and ads make money. 100%. That's what it's all about. These masonries, revenues are not improving again. 100%. To me, this idea that you're going to look at every set piece that might lead to goals to see who it came off. Yeah, I think that's going to take more time. Yeah, I think, like Java said, I'm expecting a lot of injuries after this World Cup. I'm really expecting because I've just seen some of the promos for the World Cup, and they've some of the pictures, Jarvis.
They roll out like a carpet this thick of grass, 2 weeks ago. So will the grass set? Will it be firm enough for players? We all remember all the ACL injury after the American tours in the summertime. So I'm not looking forward to it.
So for Scott, I just think based on profile, we can either use Scott, bring in Scott if we're not bringing in Adam Wharton, because they both similar in that passing mode. But if we think about next year, since everybody's been talking about the fact that we're playing a midfield too, do you think that next year we switch into a 4-3-3?
No.
So it's going to be 2 midfielders and still Bruno. So how do we fix that equation now?
That's how it's going to be, because we're going to play, if everything fires out, we're going to play 8 games. Is it 8 games or 10 games? Let's hope pray for more games in the Champions League if we get through. So 8 games are guaranteed. We've played 40. We're going to be in more of the League Cup. I'm hoping we're going to get past the first round and an FA Cup the first round, the 5th round when the Premier League's get in there. So it's going to be at least 50-something games we're going to play next season. Yeah. So there's going to be rotation. There's going to be suspension and injuries, Luani. You have to consider that.
But Luani, there's
going to be a certain way. Let's say we're coming back from somewhere like, what can I say? We're coming back from Turkey on a flight back, and then we've got 12:30. We've got Liverpool at home. We're gonna have to freshen it up. You can't play
48 hours.
After 48 hours, 12:30 kickoff. So
but also, Nordin, when it comes to this, we got to remember it was Rich on United TV. I don't know if you know that guy, great guy, and he talked about this, and he mentioned the quality of depth, and we used to have this, especially you can compare it to, for example, under Fergie when we had the 4 strikers. We can start first half playing 2 strikers. After 70 minutes, if we still 0-0, we bring on 2 other strikers. So we get that quality of, Cole and York could have started well, but again, you bring on Ollie and Teddy Sheringham, and they do well. So
that was a genius.
I don't see any wrong with us having 4 central midfielders playing for 2 spots. I think that will be a great depth for us, and we can.
Well, people are getting tired, 100%. Well, other players on the pitch are getting tired. To be able to have the ability to bring on 2 midfielders,
it turned so many games in our favor if we play it well, play it 100%. Right,
or even change the formation, go to a 3 in midfield, and maybe sub Bruno up. Or sub one of the players and put Bruno or striker. You can do, there's certain things that you can do. But while Bruno's there, I don't see it. And that's why, Luani, I'm willing to accept the 57 million, somebody by Munich to come and get him, and we just move on. For him to go out in a high. He's not winning the Champions League.
When we talk about depth and Fergie, sometimes I think we need to consider that maybe the reason why Fergie have depth in attack, because he just like to attack. So if we look at Carrick and we get
Fergie's genius that he realized defenders get tired with 2 different type of ways. When you're playing against 2 defenders, will set out in the match, and the other team will prepare for York and Cole, and then he'll shock them and play. He'll play Ollie and Sheringham, and Sheringham will drop as more as a number 10, and Ollie will make the runs into the flanks. Cole and York were totally different. Then those defenders are tired by Ollie's runs, and they're like, you know, the opposite movement. Sheringham would.
Ole used to play as a 10 when Annie Cole played as a 9, for
exactly.
example. Yeah,
exactly.
There was so many different ways.
Movement variations. But what he realized is that that's why that season we scored so many goals late on, because defenders get tired, and when you have two strikers who are fresh, full of running, and have energy, and you're already tired, and they're playing a different way to the other two were playing with you, they're against you, then that's what happens. Andy Cole sometimes used to drop to one side and just be like, okay, I'm out here. Dwight York used to go into run into that space. Dwight York would play as the number 10. Sometimes Dwight York will just be like, okay, we'll swap. And they were more in that sense. Solskjaer and Sheringham used to do the opposite movements. Sheringham used to drop. When I said, I was like, oh, should I go with Sheringham? I'm going to ask the midfield to begin. Then Ollie would take you from left to right. Ollie used to go wide and running like Rashford. How many goals did he score for United where he would never just be the main target guy, try to fight with him? His movement was unbelievable. He used to pick more likely, because he was right-footed, pick the left-hand side and make runs in between the centre-back and the full-back and find the space there. So that's the genius of Fergie. Yes, he wanted to attack. He was about risk football, but he realized defenders were tired. And United would always throw the kitchen sink. And that's why we won the treble.
You know why I'm laughing? Because when you say he realized that defenders are tired, I'm trying to see, did Carrick realize that our fullbacks are tired? Because when you play in the 4-2-3-1, you can bolster the midfield, bring all the kind of reinforcement you want. But if you have Luke Shaw and Dalot, and your 4-2-3-1 is predicated on your fullback going up and down, I mean...
Yeah, 100%.
You see where I'm going, right?
Yeah, 100%. No, I've already said Manchester United cannot go another season playing with Diogo Dalot and Luke Shaw. No effing way. I've seen in that system, or any system, where it's 4-3-3, and when you've especially got teams who will come to Old Trafford next season and do a low blockers, you need width, and you need width with your fullbacks, so then your inverted wingers can come inside. You need to stretch it. The more you stretch, the more gaps there are in the middle. And that's where you want your inverted wingers to operate, in those gaps, while people are worried about it. And the two of them have to be able to effing cross the ball, especially now we've got Sesko. You have to be able to cross the ball. Our crossing is dog shit. This season, even on the carrick, I've seen more times when we cross the ball when Sesko's not on the pitch. And then we don't cross it when Sesko's on the pitch. I swear to God, I'm at Old Trafford. I'm like, oh, we are swinging crosses in today. Sesko comes on, we stop doing that. I'm like, what is this? 6'5".
See, when you just say our wingers have to invert, I mean, Acuna can invert. Don't tell me Dogu can play in an inverted winger position. Maybe the most proficient we have is Ahmad, that can play inside because of his ball control. But I don't see Mbomo being able to invert neither, because Mbomo just play on the shoulder. And then our fullback, I don't see Luke Shaw. Maybe can cross, but he can go up and down. But Dalot's crossing we know what Dalot's crossing is. So I don't know. Who are we?
Yeah. Big up, people. Big up. We've been live now for nearly 2 hours. We appreciate you, but that's the conversation anytime we get together. Conversation goes. And tonight, it's been a lot of breaking news and breaking things and here and there, but the offer stands. Let me just shout out the poll. 73% of you said you're going to be happy with Scott, Ederson, and Fernandes. That's really interesting.
We will have the youngest midfield in the Premier League.
I don't mind that if they're quality. If they're quality, I don't mind having the youngest.
It's true.
To me, it's never about being old enough. It's about if you're good enough. But for me,
but you create a certain culture when you have a lot of young guys. You remember the famous picture of Garnacho and Højlund and who's
Kobe.
The third one sitting on the
Kobe Mainoo.
Kobe sitting on the fence. You know, it's not always successful because, as I said, you get a little bit sneaks in a little bit of what's the name?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, people, I just want to say thanks to Jarvis, thanks to Ben. Make sure you check Ben out, Elmo39 on X and Elmo20 on Twitch and TikTok. He's a gamer, so if you're into gaming, check out Ben on Twitch, Elmo20 and Elmo20 on TikTok, and Elmo39 on X. Make sure you check out United Trucker Marwan Lawani 1979 on X. Make sure you check out Jarvis at Bowley BOLE77 on X. Make sure you check out the Tactical Devils channel. Fantastic channel.
Yes, Stu and I are doing a show tomorrow, by the way, and to all of you guys, if you can all do me a solid one, press that link, go to because the stream is scheduled for tomorrow, 9 p.m. All the likes that we get before it goes live help the algorithm push it out. So any of you do me a solid one, press that link, go in and just press the like on that show that's scheduled for tomorrow. That will help immensely.
I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now as we speak. But yeah, people, please do that. That's the least you can do. Is go and like the stream that's going to be live tomorrow.
It's the latest stream, but it's basically what we do here. If you haven't seen the Tactical Devils, we talk football, try to keep it factual and have solid debates.
I've just done it. Make sure at least 20 of you like it, please. I've just done it. We're going to need 17 more likes so that it pushes out the algorithm. Tactical Devils show, Manchester United. So yeah, transfer rumors live tomorrow.
5 likes already. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, big up. And they've now reached a 2,000. They should be on 8 to 10,000. At least, so people, please subscribe to that channel as well as soon as
we turned the corner now, so 2,000 subscribers. That's fantastic. 2,003 actually now, so yeah, you're going in the right direction.
100%. Unfortunately, we've not hit our target of 150 likes, but please, on your way out, like the video. Free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan, Congo, and everywhere where people are oppressed. Solidarity and love. F the war machine, F the colonizers and the imperialists. Everywhere. Free the Manchester 10. Free the people. Free them all. Wherever they are. Liberation for all. And love and light, people. Somebody says, are you the same, Nurin? The gifts, membership, Up TV? What does that mean?
Yeah, United People's TV, the Sam People's United People's TV.
Yeah, big up to him. Yeah.
No, you are not the same guy. But I've seen a guy called Nuruddin in the chat gifting memberships. But
no, I'm not. I'm not that same guy. I don't have that money. But big up to him though. Tell him to come and see me. His namesake. Love. And in Eritrea as well, free the people, free everywhere where people are struggling. But F the military machine, man, the Zios, man. Stop the genocide, man. Free the people. Stop peace, love, light. But liberation is what the world needs. Solidarity to all the different indigenous people struggling against the war machine and the colonizers and the imperialists. Love is the answer. But liberation is what we need. You can have peace and still having severe injustice. But yeah.
No, do you have his Mumaye?
Yeah, he's okay. Hopefully he'll be back soon. But yeah, he's still like, I have a chat to him. Hopefully when the season starts, hopefully we'll be happy to hear from him. Solidarity to the oppressed. Yeah, he's good. He's good. And love and light, people. We'll catch you tomorrow. I'll probably do a video just analyzing again Ederson and welcoming him to the club. But yeah, love and light, people. Look after each other.
No problem.
I'll catch you on another 9 o'clock tomorrow, though. Jarvis and Stu are live.
My son is trying to get me to go watch Senegal France, but I'm trying to boycott it because the ticket prices are up to 1,300.
That's crazy. We heard that there are tickets. There are tickets for the semi-final, the final that are really like million or something like that. That is crazy. crazy. Million.
So two of us, that's almost 2,700 right there.
No.
Plus taxes. So I'm trying to make a memory, but at the same time, the whole thing, I can't have the word burning and then trying to.
Luwani, the best thing you could do, drive to New York City, you and him, go to a fan park and have a fantastic day. Get him some food, go to a fan park, because all the will be there. Watch it with the Senegalese and eat food in a Senegalese restaurant somewhere in Harlem or Queens or Brooklyn.
Nice.
Yeah, I think they might be in Harlem. Honestly, that's the best thing to do, and then go and watch it in a big screen in the park somewhere. Fan park. That's why I'm not spending too far. I'd rather get you food, lad. Get you fed, you know what I mean? Than waste £2,000.
A friend of mine in the city is saying there might be a watch party in Central Park. So
exactly, there we go. Take him to that. That'll be more fun. I'm getting some nice food in an African restaurant. There you go. Love and light, people. Yeah. Good night.
Peace, guys.
Good night.
Thank you again to you two and Ben. Love, light. Big up, Java.